Welcome to another In Wheel Time podcast, a 30-minute mini version of the In Wheel Time car show that airs live every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central. Car Talk.
A global powerhouse in podcasting and live streaming.
All right.
Here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, just ahead, the Lilienthals from the Pacific Northwest. Well, we guess that's where they are. They travel everywhere in their cars.
It could be next door.
Could be. Conrad has This Week in Auto History, and we'll get you caught up on the stories making the stories. Get you caught up on the stories making news this week.
Did he proofread this?
Did I don't think I wrote it, but I didn't proofread it. Because if I'd have proofread it, that would have been different.
You wouldn't have put the stutter in it.
Howdy along with Mike out of this world, Mars. Santa Claus DeLong. We need more, Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us on this Saturday, last half hour of our weekly live program. So glad so much that you could join us today. Let's get right to it. Pacific Northwest. Let's see. It's 2 hours, 10, 9. It's 8:30 in the morning, and look who's out of bed. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Andy and Mercedes Lilienthal. Hi, kids.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Well, good, and Happy New Year to you both.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. You guys too.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you. We always love talking to you guys and find out what adventures are going on in the Lilienthal household. And I understand that we have an Alcan 5000 rally coming up.
That's right.
We do.
We leave February 19th for the Kirkland, Washington area, and then we'll leave the starting line February 21st.
So tell everybody what the Alcan 5000 rally is.
So the Alcan 5000 rally is technically a road rally. So it encompasses sections of time, speed, distance rally, competitive time, speed, distance rally, and then massively long transits to the next stop. So in a traditional TSD or time, speed, distance rally, you follow directions. It's all about being accurate, going through checkpoints at the right time, not as fast as you can, but at the right time. And like our local TSD club, the Cascade Sports Car Club, they will do a TSD on, say, a Saturday morning. Generally lasts like 3 hours, 4 hours. You may have a section where you'll do the section, and then there might be a 10-mile transit to the beginning of the next section. Alcan is like that on steroids. So
big time steroids.
You'll have your morning TSD, which might go for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then you might have an 800-mile transit to the next town.
Oh my God! Wait a minute! 800
That's
miles.
A 2-day trip.
Yep. So it's 5,000 miles plus in 10 days, and it's in sub-freezing temperatures. When we did this in 2020, they run it like the Olympics, so it's cold weather 1 year, winter rally, summer rally 2 years later. 2 years after that, it's going to be a winter rally. So the first time we did a winter rally in 2020, we hit temperatures as cold as minus 42 degrees.
Oh, count us in. We're in on that.
43.
43.
Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, because that 1 degree makes such a big difference.
Yeah. Well, it's a dry cold.
When it's that cold, weird stuff freezes, and it's not just always car parts.
Yeah.
Let's just put it
Grease
that way.
does weird things. Your eyes do weird things. Your camera gear does weird things. It's a totally different world up there when you get that far north. This year we're not going as far north. The route changes each year.
We still will be going above the Arctic Circle, though. So people can visit alcan5000.com and actually see the map of where we're going this year, because the route always changes, like Andy said. But yeah, we're stoked to do it again in the winter, and it is the most extreme rally in North America.
At 43 below zero, I would imagine that you would have engine block heaters.
So it kind of depends. In 2020, we took our own vehicle, one of our Japanese market diesel Mitsubishi Pajeros. In that vehicle, we had an oil pan heater. We also had a Webasto Thermotop Evo coolant heater, which circulated coolant when the car wasn't running. And without that old diesel wouldn't have started. Modern vehicles, gasoline-powered vehicles, they can, they undergo millions of miles of cold weather testing before they even see the light of day. And they have to be sold in places like Alaska, Canada, and other northern regions. So most modern ignition systems can still cope pretty well. But
and tell the audience who we're actually partnering with this year.
Yeah, so in 2024, we're partnering with Ineos Automotive, and we'll be driving their Ineos Grenadier from here in our house all the way up to Seattle, then through the entire route.
Is it an SUV?
Yes, the Ineos Grenadier is an SUV. It comes from a company called Ineos. They're kind of best known for making a host of different chemicals and whatnot.
It's the overarching company is called Ineos Group, and it's based in the UK. And I believe that there's 26 different businesses that are all underneath the Ineos Group label.
Yeah.
But Ineos Automotive is one of those that spawned off of it. So under Ineos Automotive is the brand new auto manufacturer, and the Ineos Grenadier is their very first vehicle iteration. And then underneath that are 3 different models, with the Trial Master being the most rugged and the most off-road capable, and that's the model iteration that we will be driving. And
I understand that they're just now getting on for sale up in Canada, a couple of dealerships up there.
Yes. So they are literally, as of the last few weeks, landing on U.S. and Canadian soils. So because we live in Portland, Oregon, up here in the Pacific Northwest, we have a local dealership, Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo, in Wilsonville by us, which is about 15, 20 minutes away from where we live. I just talked to them yesterday, and they have a few left on the lot. So they had about 20 some on the lot. There's one in Seattle. There's about, I think, 18 total in the U.S., and I just got
18 dealers. 18,
total dealers to start with in the U.S. Yes, thanks for the clarification. And I just talked to PR as far as the U.S. Ineos side yesterday, and they said that there are starting to be some Canadian dealerships. Vancouver area is starting to open up and selling, and then also the suburban areas in Toronto have a few dealerships that are now marketing.
And it looks, because I've found it on their website and posted it on our social media, it looks like previous generation Land Rover Defender to a degree.
Yes.
Very square box, very vertical. Pretty off-road, rugged-looking vehicle.
Yeah, very, very much so. Solid front and rear axles, available triple locked, front, center, and rear differentials. Very capable vehicle. Factory BF Goodrich KO2s. We're actually swapping our tires out. We absolutely love BF Goodrich KO2s. We run them on our own four-wheel drives. But because this is a dedicated winter rally, we decided to go with a dedicated winter tire. So we're actually running Michelin X-Ice tires. So we're going to make sure that we get the maximum traction in that snow and ice up there.
And those would be studless, right?
It's a studless tire. It's going to be the factory 265/70/17 tire size. We're not going up or down a size, but we're gonna make sure that's on winter rubber.
Yep.
Where are these built at?
So they're built actually in a town right on the border of Germany and France called Hambach. Mercedes has actually been there.
In France, yes. Yeah, I had the opportunity, probably a year and a half ago, maybe more, to visit Hambach, France. And it's actually part of a smart car factory for Mercedes-Benz. And visit the tour of the factory and actually do some off-roading with some earlier stage prototypes, the PTO 2 prototypes. That was really cool because I had a chance to drive the diesel versions, and I wish we had the diesels here because they're really, really, really cool. But I had a chance to drive the left-hand drive and right-hand drive prototypes, and then last January actually be invited back to do the global media drive event for the production-ready vehicles.
Well, the reason I ask is, you're going to such an extreme environment. Do they? Is that something they're really comfortable dealing with, or are they just really stepping out on a limb here?
No.
Yeah, it's no, I think that they're really comfortable. I think, Andy, you're about to say that they've tested.
I was.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so they've tested over 1 million miles in the Scandinavian countries. Mm-hmm. Very cold, very, very cold, very similar conditions to what will be going in. And the car, the vehicle is powered by an inline 6 turbo BMW engine. It's an engine that is for sale in the United States in BMWs, and is the same, if not very similar to, but it's the same as the engine that's in the Toyota Supra. So this is not newfangled technology or unproven powertrains. This is something that is it's a pretty stout and bulletproof engine.
And when I very first met the team, the PR team, and saw the very first handcrafted prototype land in the U.S., actually in Texas, believe it or not, I talked with them, and they mentioned the Alcan 5000 to me, which I thought was really interesting. So they did their homework on who I was and endurance rallying and stuff like that. So it was really cool that they knew of some of these really off-road, on-road, really tougher competitions. And so throughout that iteration of the last couple of years, we've kind of stayed in touch. And now that the vehicles are starting production, really starting to get out there. And we've been really fortunate and humbled that we are partnering for it.
Now, are we going to be able to follow you on this?
Yeah, so of course we'll be posting on our own social media. So Instagram, Crankshaft Culture on Instagram, Crankshaft Culture on Facebook. I'm sure we'll be putting together some videos eventually for YouTube, our Crankshaft Culture channel, and then of course articles in a variety of magazines, as well as our own website, crankshaftculture.com.
Cool. How do you pack for something like that?
Well, it's funny you mention that.
Lots of puffy clothing.
Yeah. It's funny you mention that. So we're actually going down to Ron Tonkin Gran Turismo today to go measure one out to make sure that we bring the appropriately sized bins and whatnot. So, but to your directly answering your question, you pack like you have to survive. And so you bring the warmest clothes, you bring dehydrated food in case, and you pack as if you're expecting to have to be outside or sleep in the vehicle.
And it's not only about the vehicle having the necessary parts to survive, like the oils, the fluids, the belts, all the parts that you're thinking, okay, this, breaks or whatnot. I mean, heck, when we had the Mitsubishi Pajero, a lot of parts you couldn't get, Of course, if you're near in Tuktoyaktuk in the Arctic Ocean and something catastrophic happens with that engine, so we had a huge box, a Rome box that we brought with us just of parts. But we ourselves had to pack with a lot of clothing too. So we're fortunate in the Pacific Northwest that we have some big name retailers that are based here. So, for instance, Under Armour, Columbia Sportswear, Mountain Hardwear, Sorel, all those different companies are based here. So we spent a lot of money in good clothing because it's kind of like the buy once, cry once. But if you're in negative 43 or there's a blizzard, which we've had to blow through that blizzard, you have to be prepared and you have to be warm. So,
well, go ahead.
I was just we're going to do the Bahama 200 next month.
The Bahama 200.
Yeah, we're going to do the Bahama 200.
That's 200 drinks. It has nothing to do with mileage.
200 margaritas.
Yeah.
We're packing. So
right.
I wouldn't mind that after the Alcan 5000.
We're packing an extra towel.
Yeah, exactly. I'll join you down there.
In your speed time distance rallying, have you ever found yourselves kind of parking out of sight for a few minutes, making sure you crossed your location at the correct time?
Sandbagging.
The time speed distance part of it is
hair raising.
Yeah,
sometimes.
we have done a number of them, and it's one of those things where they go really quickly, and you just got to live in the moment, and you've just got to make sure that you've taken that right turn or the left turn or whatnot, and you may figure out that afterwards we had it happen on a winter one where we're crossing the finish line and suddenly the car that was behind us is in front of us. We're like, wait, how did that happen? When did it pass? That's not supposed to happen. So it's fast and furious during the TSD rallies, and one mistake can throw you off for the entire event.
And I think you could tell who's the driver and who's the navigator. So
Yeah, the driver, by the way, never knows where we're going, ever.
Neither does the navigator.
It's always the joke. all the drivers were sitting around at breakfast going, hey, where are we headed today? I don't know. Nobody knows. It's always the navigator. Trust me, I'm here to tell you, the driver's got the easier part of this. She's got the hard part. She's got to tell us all where we're going or where she and I are going. And, she might tell me to take a wrong turn, I might get us lost. It's all part of it. Stuck, that's happening.
Can you use GPS?
So we actually can, yeah. There are a variety of classes, but we can use GPS, but we generally just use the route book that's included.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is for us is there's a route book, and we're running the seat of pants class. So that's basically the equipment that the vehicle has in a simple calculator. But with this rally group, you can use like a simple odometer that's digital. You can use GPS, but the problem is the route book says, turn left at Smith Street, go 26 miles per hour for 0.2 miles, then turn right at John Street. I don't know why I'm doing guys' names, but John Street, increase speed to 37 kilometers or miles per hour. Blah blah blah. So you can't put those into a GPS. So
right.
It's my job to understand all of that, and it's literally just listed line by line by line by line with incremental, mileages, times, all that. I have to figure out the incremental times, but it's mileages, and all of that, and it's about a half an inch thick of 5,000 miles.
Plus, it's a running odometer. The entire rally is a running odometer. So from mile 0 to mile 5,000, even if you're not competing, when you're doing these hundreds of miles of transit, it'll still say that, at some point, you're going to have to turn off the highway and take this other highway at mile 3,642.
0.25.
Yeah. And so, it's we want to keep on that route book. So we don't generally use the GPS. We have used it if we've gotten turned around a little bit, just like where we got off the highway or whatnot. So
the biggest thing is they're not trying to get you lost. It's not a trap rally because they don't want you to die.
Right.
This year,
That's good.
2024.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, this because it's such a severe endurance rally, right? And this year is the 40th year iteration. So it started in 1984. So we're very humbled to be a part of it for a third iteration, shall we say. So 2020, 2022, we partnered with Subaru of America, now 2024 with Ineos Automotive. But their main goal is to keep everybody together, so we all have buddy cars.
Be safe.
And then we all have emergency communications, too. So
is Ineos going to send somebody with you?
No. So we did ask, however, to make sure that, heaven forbid something does come up, that we have access to at least call somebody.
Like an
and be like,
engineer
hey, we're having this issue. What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a pretty proven engine and drivetrain combination. It's not some, one-off bit of sorcery here. So
they've done a lot of severe duty cold testing in the Scandinavian Arctic during the winter, and so we're feeling pretty confident about being able to take it up to the Arctic in Canada here and in Alaska. And the furthest north that we're going to do is we do all the what they call optional extreme controls, which is basically all the batshit crazy, pardon my language, all the batshit crazy, endurance stuff. So all the extra legs, all the extra routes, and that the furthest north we'll go this year will be to Coldfoot, Alaska. So that's on the day off when a lot of people choose to take the day off to go to the chain of hot springs, and we will instead drive all the way half up to Prudhoe Bay, grab our gasoline, and come back home.
So the thing she didn't mention was the extreme challenges net you more points.
Right.
So if you don't do that, you don't get the extra points. So and if you get more points, obviously you have a better chance of getting trophies and so on and so forth.
Right.
So we hear, Andy, you've been preparing for this since the Halloween blizzard of '91, correct?
I am impressed that you know.
You could thank Dan Wicklum for that.
Oh yes, I know Dan. I went to high school. Look, I went through all school with Dan. But yeah, absolutely. It's every Minnesotan remembers where they were in '91 during that blizzard. So
fun. Well, Andy and Mercedes, we sure appreciate you sharing the story with us. We can't wait to talk to you when you get back. We're going to schedule that.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
okay.
For sure.
Well, Mars will be.
We talked about we may try and talk to them once they got the vehicle in their hand to kind of get a look at the vehicle if we can set up something to do.
Yeah,
that.
absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, maybe we could do remote from the Arctic Circle.
Well, there you go. Yeah, good luck on that. Well, thank you and best of luck to you both. We're with you all the way, and we sure appreciate you taking the time this early morning for you West Coasters out there, and we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you
Thank
for
you so
having
much.
us on, guys.
Thank you so much.
Y'all take care. We'll be
safe.
We look forward to the end result. All right, y'all be good. All right, time now for Conrad's This Week in Auto History.
Well, a friend of mine, Don Hartman, always told me nothing ever changes in the car business. In 1921, the International Motor Company registered the Mack trademark for its 1911 for its trucks. You know, and the reason I say nothing has changed, it had 28-inch wheels back then. It was all ready for some of the car shows that are going on.
The original donk.
Today, right. In 1926, General Motors officially introduced Pontiac at the New York Motor Show as a companion brand to their modestly priced Oakland line. Soon after, Pontiac sales began to really take off, and it far outsold Oakland. The increasing sales figures led for GM to shut down Oakland in 1932 and focus on their hot new car, Pontiac, thus becoming the only automotive brand mark to survive its parent company. In 1980, Jimmy Carter signed a bill authorizing $1.2 billion in federal loans to save the failing Chrysler Corporation.
That's not Jimmy Carter.
No, but that's Mr. Iacocca, who
Yes.
took the $1.2 billion dollars.
Save the company.
The big three American car companies had suffered through the 70s as Japanese competitors led by Honda and Toyota outperformed them in quality and price, and to a large degree still do. In 1985, GM launched the Saturn Corporation as a wholly owned but independent subsidiary within General Motors. Saturn, a sporty and affordable plastic-bodied two-door, was their original car. That's the four-door that I pictured there.
We see that.
But the new midsize Saturn sedan also came as a station wagon. Did you ever get either of you two guys ever get a Saturn to drive?
Nope.
My brother-in-law had one. They loved it.
Not bad. Very good cars. Very interesting selling technique. They were one price car. There was no negotiation. You bought a Saturn for whatever was on the sticker. And then in 1989, Dodge introduced the Viper at the North American International Motor Show. The Viper was a modernized tribute to the classic Shelby Cobra, which won rave reviews by the company. And Dodge delivered a production version in 1992, just 3 years later. Really made history with that car. And then in 1994, Dodge introduced the Neon. And of the Neon, they also had an SRT4 version with a 230 horsepower. Oh, that's the General Motors EV1, the first electric car sold by General Motors. And then the Dodge Neon was after that, next. Okay. Back to you, Don. I thought I sent the pictures correctly, but I need to look up instead of read, right?
Yeah, and there's that.
We got you covered.
Vietnamese automaker VinFast added to its growing list of franchise dealerships in the U.S. as the electric vehicle brand shifts away from its direct sales model in favor of third-party retailers. EV Startup announced 4 independent stores this week: Smith Haven VinFast in St. James, New York; Principal VinFast, Grapevine near Dallas; Hiley VinFast in Fort Worth, and VinFast Wichita in Kansas. The new dealerships are in addition to VinFast's first franchise dealership in the U.S., Leith VinFast in Cary, North Carolina. Leith store is near the site where VinFast is building its first U.S. assembly plant to make electric crossovers that will form the backbone of its lineup.
They won't last long.
Now, Vietnamese. Now, I'm sorry, I don't see that being a long term, but
Banh mi and a pho.
They're to be in deep kimchi if they have to recall them.
That's Korean.
deep kimchi. Mars, did you hear that?
Yes, I did.
Deep kimchi.
I'm trying not to say anything.
Number of electric vehicle models eligible for a consumer tax credit as of as much as $7,500 fell sharply as new rules from the Biden administration kicked in on January 1st.
Your tax dollars at work.
Narrower criteria reduced the number of qualifying models to 13 from about 2 dozen. According to federal data from fueleconomy.gov, the new rules exclude from the tax credit vehicles that use battery components made by Chinese manufacturers. All right.
A transfer of wealth. The government taking your money to give it to people to do things they don't want to normally do.
There is that.
Which is buy an electric car.
All right. Time now for a quick break. We'll be right back. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show streaming on podcasting and looking everywhere. It's looking good, and you can find us everywhere. Stay with us.
You own a car you love. Well, why not let Gulf Coast Auto Shield protect it? Houstonian John Gray invites you to his state-of-the-art facility to introduce you to his specialist team of auto enthusiasts. We promise you'll be impressed. Whether you're looking to massage your original paint to a like-new appearance, apply a ceramic coating, install a paint protection film, nano-ceramic window tint, or new windshield protection called ExoShield, Gulf Coast Auto Shield is where Houston's car people go. Curbed your wheels? Instead of buying new, why not have them repaired? How about a professionally installed radar detector? Gulf Coast Auto Shield does that too. Get a peek inside the shop and look at the services offered by getting online and heading to gcautoshield.com. Better yet, stop by their facility at 11275 South Sam Houston Tollway, just south of the Southwest Freeway, and get a personal tour. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your place to go for all things exterior. Call them today, 832-930-5655 or gcautoshield.com. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipes mean when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the original Lupi Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here's the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupi Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Speaking of original, nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupi Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupi Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupi's. It's located just off I-10 and the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupi Tortilla in College Station, located just around the corner from Kyle Field. It's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Headed east to Louisiana? Stop in at the Lupi Tortilla in Beaumont. It too's on I-10. You can't miss it. The original group of Lupi Tortilla restaurants invites you in for the best Tex-Mex anywhere. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is now part of the iHeart family. Now you'll have access to 24/7 Car Talk anytime you need a fix. Just download the iHeart Radio app and ask for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, and there we are. Be sure to save us in your iHeart library for instant access. No matter where you are, you have the best Car Talk Show right on your PC, laptop, or mobile device and never have to worry about finding us again. Of course, you can always get access to our video and audio streams via InWheelTime.com and your favorite podcast channel, and all of this is free to you. From the iHeart Radio app, you'll not only hear our Saturday morning live show, but the best shows of the past, updated weekly. Never miss a minute of up-to-date new car reviews, pre-owned reviews, Conrad's Car Clinic, informative interviews, automotive news, and the most fun car talk show on the planet. Just download the iHeart Radio app, search for In-Wheel Time Car Talk, save it to your library, and with a tap of the icon, you'll be in touch with your favorite Car Talk team. In-Wheel Time Car Talk, streaming now on iHeart.com/In-Wheel Time Car Talk.
Well, that's it for this week's In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Here's your invitation to follow us on Facebook. Give us a like, tell your friends about us, share our stuff. We'll keep you posted on all things automotive all week long, including award-winning interviews, new car reviews, upcoming events, cruise-ins, racing, car, truck, and SUV goodies. When you need a car fix during the week, you can find the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 via the iHeartRadio app. We live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m. Central Time. Daily 30-minute podcasts available on your favorite streaming provider. We post a fresh episode every day. The In-Wheel Time Marketing Advertising Advisor and Video Technical Director is We Need More Jeff Zekin. For Booking Agent, Do-It-All, and Schoolmaster Mike Mars. Mr. Know-It-All, His Royalty King Conrad DeLong. Chief Engineer David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you join us for another live, award-winning production of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show next Saturday, January 13th, on all of our In-Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Have a great weekend. Stay safe out there, and we'll see you next week.
That's it for this podcast episode of the In Wheel Time Car Show. I'm Don Armstrong, inviting you to join us for our live show every Saturday morning, 8 to 11 a.m. Central on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our InWheelTime.com website. Podcasts are available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeart Podcast, Podcast Addict, TuneIn, Pandora, and Amazon Music. Keep listening, and we'll see you soon.